Hey, David Plouffe, political strategist, spokesperson with the Hillary Clinton campaign. HillaryClinton.com is the website. At David Plouffe, P-L-O-U-F-F-E. David, welcome to the program.
Hey, Tom, good to be with you.
Hey, how long have you been on hold? I didn't realize you were there.
No. I just called in.
Oh, okay.
So I got right through. Yeah, thanks for having
great.
me on.
Yeah, because I was just reacting to a. Actually, I'd love to get your response. We just had a millennial caller saying, I'm seriously pissed off about the way that Bernie was treated by the Democratic Party. We feel like we got screwed, and and we don't care how evil Donald Trump is.
Well, I mean, I think Bernie Sanders is probably the best voice on that, and he has been a passionate supporter of Hillary Clinton. I think has been one of the most effective voices about the stakes in this election. So, the Sanders campaign and all the supporters should be proud of the campaign they ran. It was remarkable to watch, and they exceeded everyone's expectations, and are such an important part of the coalition. We need to make sure Donald Trump, and I would just remind everybody that this isn't a game. The stakes here are enormous. I mean, to have Donald Trump in the Situation Room in the Oval Office, his policies are bad enough, but he's an unstable person, and I think would make some decisions that would not just harm this country but harm the world. So this isn't a normal election. And, I think Hillary Clinton's in a very strong position, but it could be close. And if it is, we need everybody out there, their vote and their passion. So I think Bernie Sanders himself has been the best spokesperson on this.
Excuse me. Pardon me. During the Obama election, he was running in Hope and Change. I mean, you were helping run that election. A lot of people feel that they didn't get the hope and change that they wanted. They got some stability. They got the country back on track, more or less. And I get it that the Republicans, that President Obama only had 72 days where he had a filibuster-free Senate or proof Senate, and he got a hell of a lot done actually during that period of time. But what affirmative, what positive message can you give people for why they should vote for Hillary Clinton rather than against Donald Trump?
Well, it's important. I think that's probably the most important thing she can do. First of all, if we, the Obama record, we can do that at a different time, Tom. But, I mean, if you think about
brought that up, David, is because I think that
right.
This is still a change election because people are still, there's still this sense that the country's going in the wrong direction. And whether I didn't mean that as an indictment of Obama or your campaign or anything like that. My point is that if we're in a change election, and you've got somebody who's, was in the White House back in the 90s and, has been around politics for 30 years, a lot of people don't view that as change. How do you respond to that? How do you pitch that?
Well, I think, first of all, you need to make the case that Donald Trump is the wrong kind of change and too much change.
No, I got that. I think that case has been made.
That's important. But I still think there's a lot of people tonight who you have a chance to really, really drive that home. Because this campaign has been kind of a circus. This is going to be the most important and substantive 90 minutes of the last, year and a half. Secondly, I do think Hillary Clinton's most important thing tonight is for people to feel, sort of what's in her heart, what's in her gut, why she's doing this, who she's going to fight for, have a clear sense of, she's going to build on some of what Barack Obama's done and also pursue her own agenda. I think that's key. I think we need more people out there, including the caller who you just heard from, to feel more passionate about her. This can't just be, I'm afraid of Trump. I don't like Trump. You need the other side of the coin. Listen, I do think at the end of the day, this is a president who is going out, quite strongly. I think will be viewed as a consequential president. And I think we're going to look back on this as a very, very important 8 years of progressive progress. So I think she's going to stand by that and embrace it. But she definitely, particularly in the economy where, even as statistically the economy's recovered, people aren't seeing the wage growth they want, don't have the mobility they'd want, a concern about their kids' future. So I think she can very passionately talk about, how she's going to approach those issues. But there's no doubt that this is a contest. And so while she's doing that, she's got to pick her moments, I think, to show where Trump's the wrong recipe and that he's not fit for office, which, I'm as passionate as anyone about the issues where I think Donald Trump's wrong. The thing that scares me, having worked in the White House, is someone of his temperament and the way he makes decisions. Because, every day in the White House, there's about 25 things that happen that you're not prepared for. And I worry about his decision making.
Yeah. But Okay, I got that. I back about a year ago on this program, on the air, I said I've contributed to both Bernie and Hillary's campaigns, and so I'm on their mailing list, and I get their their pitches, and I said anytime I get an email requesting money from me that specifically speaks to an issue that I care about, I'll make a contribution. And I maxed out with Bernie fairly quickly. So far, I've made 2 contributions to Hillary's campaign. I've gotten 2 emails out of the hundreds since that time that actually talked about issues. One of them was on Saturday of this last weekend, and which really pleased me. In fact, I read part of it on the air earlier. It just strikes me that affirmative case is not being made well by the campaign. Maybe it's that the media is not carrying it. But I mean, the campaign's responsible for the emails that they're sending out, if nothing else. What's the affirmative case?
I think that is her most important task tonight. So, and you're right. I think, in the close here, whether it's email, social media, her events, it's important that affirmative case. But not just, I think it's got to be twofold. Her policies and her issues, but also kind of her motivation. And yeah. I don't think the interesting thing, or the very important thing about tonight, the press coverage so far, it's been fairly circus-like, in part because of Trump. And so you've got an opportunity tonight, if estimates are correct, to speak to, over 2/3 of the electorate. It's a remarkable opportunity, to speak directly to them and reach them. And again, I think that, there's contrast with Trump. Trump will probably offer some moments where you're going to, get into a debate with him. But the most important thing she can do is that affirmative case. I agree with you completely. Yeah. And if she does that, I will have considered it. If more people say, you know what, I really hadn't heard that from her.
Well, I think it was made at the convention, but I haven't, Anyhow, David Plouffe, thank you for being with us today. Great talking with you.
You're listening to Thom Hartmann.